Okay, so a while ago I was checking Anime News Network. You know, doing the usual, looking for new releases, any changes that are being made that I need to be aware of, any updates on when the World and Harem's new episodes are coming out. I'm really down bad. Anyways, I see a news report about a well-animated character on my screen. The animated movie is called Belle. I first thought, wow, and then I thought, nothing more of it, and then I moved on with my day. Fast forward to December 28th. My butt is now sitting in a movie theater with my sister watching this animated movie, Belle. Belle is the highly successful movie by Studio Chizu that earned 6.53 billion yen in the Japanese box office and earned 3.3 million at American box offices as well, being the author's highest earning movie to date. Which isn't surprising, the movie has some of the best animation I've ever seen, with music that rivals some of the best Disney movies. This is coming from someone that watches seasonal animes, so keep that in mind. Grain of salt. It's able to hide 3D elements that most animes seriously are too lazy to do. If you love great visuals like Demon Slayer or Dororo, then this is much better. But sadly, if you're looking for a comprehensive story, then this is not the anime for you, which is disappointing. The story is pretty vanilla. It follows a similar story to a classic tale of Disney, but alters it the anime way. With, I'm just gonna say it, weak female characters, dead absent parents, emotional flashbacks, monologues for exposition, poorly made villains that don't capitalize on their potential, and more. If you clicked on this video, then you probably want to know, how did I end up talking about it? Is Belle worth it? And what is it about? But before I talk about the movie, keep in mind that this is going to be a heavily spoil-filled video. So if you don't want to be spoiled, then this is your chance to click away. Most of you probably don't care, so let's get into it. Review. So the story starts out with an incredible percussion solo, similar to a high school football game or a really big sporting event, right? While narration of the virtual world plays. Then Belle, our main protagonist, starts to sing the opening song, You. This is performed by the voice lead Koho Nakamura. The underground group Millennium Parade provide the instrumental audios as well. This is just an amazing track to explain the escapism feeling of being in You and show how big of a celebrity Belle is here. Then Suzu wakes up, this being her in IRL, and they really want to show and highlight how clinically depressed she is, with her constantly always walking alone, looking very sad when she's in real life. When she gets to school, she visually shows how much she wished she looked like her classmate Ruka, and how much she's interested in her other classmate, Shinobu, with these two being the most respected and attractive students at the school. On the way home, she goes into her sad anime backstory, because it's anime, showing that her mom was the most important person in her life, and since her dad was always at work, her mom teaching her everything, being her best friend, including giving her her passion for singing and music. But she died, trying to save a dumb kid who got caught into a raging river storm. And of course, people online are openly criticizing this decision, which is just hella rude and weird, and like, shouldn't that be the first response to try and help someone in need? Since then, she refused to sing, and say with me, she's depressed. As she's walking home alone, the girls try to invite her to a karaoke party. Aww, peer pressure. She leaves, and then the moment she tries to sing a song, she vomits. Accurate, but gross. You didn't have to show me this. I would've just believed you. While she's crying, her best friend Hiro gives her an invitation to You, this being her origin story, with her putting in her gamer tag and inserting a group picture for her profile picture. Like every guy on Tinder, the You generator is assuming it's either the most attractive girl or the least attractive girl. The You generator just simply combines all the features and gives her her avatar. Then the full dive technology puts her in. Then the second song, Whisper, and Gale of Song play, with her getting mixed results from the crowd, which is pretty normal if you're doing a street performance. Most people have bad taste in music, so yeah, makes sense. She wakes up with one follower, albeit this moment gave her confidence and made her feel pretty good throughout the day. And when she comes back to check her phone after school, she has over 22 million followers. Belle becomes the angel of the server, the movie's version of a VTuber superstar, with the best friend being her manager, producer, costume designer, PR team, everything basically. She obviously is freaking out by how much attention she's now getting, but is reminded no one knows who she is, and that being good for her. Seems like this is why I kinda thought Hero was an asshole, but yay, reinforcing negative Connotations. Wait, is it connotations? Hold on, connotations. Connotations. Yeah, okay, connotations, okay. Idea of feeling a word invokes additional, literal, or primary meaning. Okay, then we meet her non-blood related mothers who have been looking after her since her mother died, who are trying to get her to be happy, but with them not knowing what happiness is themselves, we get this little awkward, moment. Shinobu trying to talk to her, but her leaving him. Belle then goes to perform her concert, but then our beast/dragon character crashes the party, with Justice, the U police, coming to get him. The thing I didn't like about this is like, it's never really clear, are they like the actual police, admin, like what are they? Also, I didn't like the idea of unveiling being the big bad punishment of you, and also the beast didn't really break any rules up to this point. Like, sure, he's really angry, like sure, he's an angry child, but up until now, he's played by the rules. Concert is crashed and he leaves, with Belle having to cancel. Hero being pissed that he ruined the concert is like, they should go unveil him, and the two get to work on tracking his identity. They honestly could have kept going on with their day like I would think most people would, but they end up narrowing it down to 3 people, each not likely seeming like the beast. When Belle goes back to you, she meets the beast in the castle, which goes like this. Who are you? Leave or I'll bite off your head. When we come back, some high school girl drama starts, and that's when we go talk to the boys, with her telling her childhood friend that he doesn't have to worry about her anymore. The beast ends up saving her from Justice. Then we hear Lend Me Your Voice, and if this doesn't scream Beauty and the Beast, nothing will. The 3 people we thought were the beast are all disproven. Belle is now interrogated by Justice, who, like I said, isn't really made clear. Is he like the admins, the owner, police? The bots help her escape, and we find out that the popular girl actually liked the dorky kid. Huh, who would have thought? Isn't that crazy, guys? Well, I'll be darned, isn't that crazy, guys? The popular girl liked the dorky kid. Aw, high school. Aw, adorable. The two hang out, and we ultimately get this cute scene, and this confession of being Belle, I guess. Yeah, I don't really know what this was. Beast Castle gets then bombed, which is kind of legal. Well, if it's not illegal, since it's online, maybe it's just a form of harassment. And Belle comes out of hiding, trying to find the identity of the beast. When we find out who the beast is, it's one half of a pair of brothers who are being mistreated by their aggressive father, and they just so happen to be streaming this event live for one person to watch it. But this stream ends up being kind of like a Skype call, so they're able to actually accept the call and talk to them afterwards. And Ryu, being the beast, feeling pitied, lets out a pretty compelling speech about how he feels about hearing a false promise. So to show him her resolve, she ends up getting unveiled, conquering her fear, and singing the closing songs of the movie. Seeing her resolve, the brothers contact her, but the dad shuts down the stream after knowing he's in trouble. And Belle goes to get them. When she goes to get them, she confronts the dad, and he ends up just backing down, and they all get a happy ending. The end. So, critiques. So, this show knows their audience, that being teenage girls. Like, the scenarios just don't make sense if you're an adult, with the ultimate conclusion just having me baffled. So you're telling me you all know this man beats his kids or is just really aggressive, and you're just allowing her to go there alone on a train to confront this stranger online who's a known aggressive adult male who doesn't have a great history with women, that being either his wife is dead or left them, whatever you want to say, she's not there no more, with, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adults letting her go alone. I counted 5. I'm not even counting her dad here, that would make 6. He kind of got told last minute. He wasn't freaking out, he should have, but he trusted his daughter, whatever. What, okay, sure, okay. But these 5 adults' contribution is driving her to the train station instead of actually either stopping her or going with her to make sure she'd be okay. The fuck? Like, I would think the boyfriend here would go, but of course he doesn't. He's letting a middle schooler take his girl. Then the confrontation itself, with her just standing here and him ultimately not going through with it, yay, but him simply just running away like this? This is the ending? This is our big bag antagonist? This is like the last thing I thought was going to happen, but in the worst way still moving forward. Like, they hug it out, but don't actually explain what happened to the boys, cause they're not with her, and the police were called but they couldn't actually act on anything. They're like, trust us, it all worked out. Like, is the dad going to is the dad reforming? Is he going to anger management classes? Is he getting like a therapist? Like, nothing is explained. Sure, you can say, oh, it's so beautiful, but it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Make it make sense to me, please. Number 2. Okay, so let's start with this. The idea of unveiling being the big deterrent for digital crimes, it's not. So Belle and all the people in you are supposed to be really afraid, and this idea of them being scared to being unveiled because their lives in you are so great, and how they wouldn't want people who are in the server to know how lame they actually are. Like, this idea is just so stupid. Even if unveiled, they can still play the freaking game or be on you. But now it's just public knowledge to more degree. In the modern view of esports and gaming, we all know the top players and know what they look like. Heck, people post their freaking achievements online all the time. Heck, tracking IPs have been around for 2 decades at this point. Then I guess the other part of this is the whole idea of tracking people and sending out their private information but they don't want people to know. Tracking IPs have been around for about 2 decades now and is illegal to basically do if the person doesn't consent to it. But in the montage, they just show it here. They just do it. These are popular users and we see what they look like. Do they know they're being tracked? I don't think they do, because these high school girls don't go into it. Because knowing these girls, they didn't really ask permission. Unveiling is a real invasion of someone's privacy and in general is illegal. The admins could simply just ban the beast if they have a problem with him, if he broke terms of service that no one reads, or if they just simply don't like him. If Nintendo doesn't want you posting videos on YouTube about their game, they can simply say you can't use it. That's within their terms of service rights to do. The girls tracking the beast and trying to do that in general is illegal. The idea of unveiling someone is just wrong to do, but even if they did it, as long as you're not doing something illegal, it's not that big of a deal. All in all, I didn't like this idea. Next is Belle's and Beast's chemistry. Every time on the screen, the Beast just leaves a negative interaction with Belle, constantly just screaming at her or making her afraid of him. Like, I sympathize with why he's so angry all the time, but I didn't see a positive connection till the end. All in all, it was a real one-sided relationship with her trying to be his friend, or be a friend. I'ma say it, the movie spent a lot of time with the idea of Belle and Beast and building this idea around the Beast, which as a character, he's not that great. And I'm just gonna say it. The dialogue was trash. I know people are gonna dislike what I might take here, right? And they think I'm just simply hating on this movie. But I'm not. I simply want you to think about this. And be honest here. When we make friends, there is a reason behind it. There is a connection, an opening dialogue that gets the two on even playing grounds. Something they have in common. You see what I'm saying here? Personally, I've had to move a decent amount of time growing up, not really being able to stay in one place for too long, having to be in different schools all the time, and I've had to make a lot of friends. And when you do something so often, you start to see some common trends. Very little dialogue gives them an understanding to grow as friends, let alone be lovers. Like, push that idea to the side. Most animes can't get away with this because everyone knows each other. It's like a community, with them being childhood friends of some sort, or all in the same class, because they're always high school students. Crazy. So, this is probably why the theme of building a relationship dialogue from scratch might have been difficult. They don't have that connection from all those years ago. In other animes, you don't see these opening dialogue scenes of connection because everyone knows each other. It wasn't needed. Here, you're making a new connection to a random stranger. You need that little connection to say, we can be friends. You need that dialogue. The show doesn't have it. This anime doesn't have it. The dialogue scenes where they do talk suck. I'm sorry to say. Rating. How do I feel about this anime? Where would I rate it? Belle, to me, is a 3.5 out of 5, or a 7.5 out of 10, if you want to go by that scale. The movie is good, and I ultimately loved watching it for what it was. The animation was amazing, the music reminded me a lot of Carol and Tuesday, and other projects similar that have Japanese and English vocals. It was a different take on the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale. It made it fit more into the modern world. Characters to me weren't fleshed out though, with some of them just fitting in the needs of the story, like Boat Boy over here was only there to give Ruka a love interest, or Shinobu. So Shinobu could be with Shuzu scot-free even though he has no actual other character or interest or likes or anything of value besides being the love interest of Suzu. I thought Hiro was an ass the first time watching this movie, but I watched it the second time and she seemed like less of an ass because there are a couple dialogue scenes where she actually was being a good friend instead of being an ass. The adult characters all suck, except for Suzu's dad, who I can kind of understand where his thought process might have been. Like, his daughter hasn't tried interacting with him for about 10 years. Sure, he has late hours at work, but he's actively trying to make time for his child, to be with his kid. Justin is a shitty villain or antagonist. Once I saw his big deterrent being unveiling people and him just being this cocky asshole, the ending just felt anticlimactic. Like, now that people don't care about being unveiled, why should they care about you? His character just felt like a really stinky disappointment. Like, if they actively commit a crime, they don't get tossed out of freaking you. The police or government don't get involved. Like, there's no actual punishment for these crimes in this game. It's just really weird. If you want to watch this movie, watch it for the songs. I would rewatch it over and over again just for that. Hearing them was amazing. The story is passable, but not the selling point of the movie. The songwriting is really on display, with You, Swarms of Song, and Gales of Song being the best songs, while A Million Miles Away and Lend Me Your Voice being the best moments for the actual movie. And I'll make sure to leave the links for the artists down below, so go check them out and give me your opinion.